Hi everyone, continuing our Cosmos DB Python and NoSQL 101 series. We are covering today querying. As prereqs, be sure to check out the past 3 videos that we have created on this topic. You need somewhere to write some code, you need Python installed, you need a Cosmos DB account, and you need the Azure CLI installed as well, wherever you're writing code. All right, that's it. Let's dive right in. So I have this querying.py file, and I just have the setup, so the imports, the variables, and then the clients here. And we're going to write a couple of queries here. We'll start with a basic one, and this will filter by property. And we will need to start by writing the query itself. We'll do a select all from C, being that container, where C, and we'll just get fiction books. So we'll say C.category, and we'll say fiction. And then close that single quote. That's one thing with these queries. Those double quotes, single quotes, you got to be careful with them. And then we can go and get the items that match this query. And we'll just use list here. We'll say container client dot query items. It's a new functionality for us. And then we just provide in the query that we want to send. And then we can do a print. We'll do a printf here, and we'll say found, and we'll just print out the length of that list items. Fiction found, like we'll say like 5 fiction, and then we'll just say books here at the end. Great. Now we can do Python query. And let's see how many fiction books we have. 2 fiction books. Awesome. Now this is a very basic query, though not recommended. And I will show you why in this next example. So we'll copy this here. And then we'll say this is a safer one. This is called a parameterized query. And then prevents SQL injections. Right. So it's going to be pretty similar. What we end up changing here is, let's say we want, we'll say rating here instead. We'll want rating that are either higher or equal to, like we'll say 4. But instead of sending the value here directly, because that can bring us a lot of pain, we'll just say we'll create a parameter. We'll say min rating here. Now I need to remove this single quote here, right? So now when we send the query, we still, have to send the query here, but we also have to send something called parameters. So we'll create params, and then we need to provide the name, which in our case is going to be that @min_rating. And then we also need to provide the value, which is, I forgot to close this here, which is going to be, let's say, a 4.7. That's a pretty high value, right? And then when we are getting those items, we need to send the query alongside the parameters, params here. And something else that is different here is we're going to need to enable cross-partition query true, because we are going to be looking across partition. So when you're working with Cosmos, you provide that partition key, which in my case is the category. Since up here, I'm only looking in a specific category. So in the fiction category, we're not going across partitions. But because we're going to look for ratings, and this could look at fiction books, classic books, a bunch of different categories, we are going to be looking across partitions. So that's why I need to enable this here. And then we'll say found books with high rating. Great. So now we'll run this as well. And let's see what is returned to us. We have 1 book with a high rating, and I guess if I just set this to be, 4.5, maybe we'll get more. Yeah, a lot more books. Okay, great. Let's do 1 or 2 more. I'm gonna copy this one over. We're gonna send this in here too. let's say we want only specific fields, right? So we can say, this is called a projection actually, where we select specific fields only. Now the difference here is you see fields only. Here we're doing a select all. Here we were doing a select all as well. But let's say we don't want that. Let's say we just want the ID, ID. And then let's say we want the title as well. And we'll just do C dot title. And then we'll change our where clause. Instead of being this, we'll just say C dot page count is page underscore count. And we want them to be higher than, I don't know, 500. I feel like that's a pretty high count. Say 500. Great. And now we can do list query. Great. Books with more than 500 pages. Okay. Okay. Select the ID and the title from the container where the, it almost got me here. The page count is larger than this parameter we're providing, which is 500. And then we'll print out the actual items here. So we'll do for item in items. And we'll say print. And we can just do the item title. Or I guess we could, yeah, we'll do the title there here. We'll do Python and then we'll run this here. Or you know what? We'll just print out the item itself. There we go. Just so we can actually show the difference in fields getting returned here too, right? So it looks like only Don Quixote has more than 500 pages, and you see we were only returned ID and title, even though we printed out the entire item here, because that's the only thing we asked for in the query. And one other thing that could be pretty helpful to query, especially in like a foundations or a basics 101 type video, is working with arrays. So we can copy over this. Actually, we'll copy this because we might need a for. We'll copy this over, paste this here. And I know that tags has an array type of structure. So we can say select, and we'll go back to doing select all. And we'll keep this here, select all from C, where, and here we'll do array underscore contains. Great. And we just want to do C tags, and then we'll do at tag that we're looking for, right? So we'll erase this here. And then we will update this tag to have the value of fiction. Actually, that's not a tag. I think bestseller. Bestseller is definitely a tag. And then same thing here. We'll look at this and then, okay. And then our print could actually be just a simple print like this here. Found items with best seller tag. Okay, let's run this here. Python querying. All right. We found 0 with the best seller tag. Maybe it's a capital. Hold on. I changed it in the wrong. Here it should be lowercase. Here it should be lowercase as well. So I'm pretty sure I normalized my tags to be all lowercase. And there it is. Yes. That's actually a pretty good error to get, because we can change our query here as well. So we can keep the select all from where the array contains C tags, and then all we have to do is change this to be lower, right? Lower. And then we'll put this in parens here. And then we just want to make sure that this is set here to true. And then we can go ahead and go over here, and then in our params, we are sending in the value of, we'll say bestseller here. And this should still work for us. So go ahead and run this here. And we see we still found one. And it's because we set, and even if they set this to like bestseller, right? Because sometimes we don't know, maybe we're providing bestseller incorrectly, like the casing and things like that. So this is a great way for us to avoid that as well. I think that is a good amount of queries to get you started. And then from here, you'll get the items that you want to either update, delete, or continue working with in your applications. And those are just a couple of examples of querying your items in your Cosmos DB container. We are going to have more videos covering even more complex topics, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you would like us to cover, and I'll see you in the next video.